In this lesson, I want to talk a little bit about tape reading, how we read the chart, okay? First thing, I want you to see that this is a chart of pound. Now, what do you see here? You see 3 down candles, right? I love when I see 3 down candles like that. And the 3 down candles are not just any 3 down candles. They can be any time. They can be 5-minute candles or 15-minute candles, even 1-minute candles. It actually comes down to the time that these are appearing and where they are coming into, okay? I'm actually long the pound based on this entry, which I'll show you the results in a separate video when we review the trade. For now, I want to talk about the entries. Number one, the 3 15-minute candles coming down into the low of the day, okay? That's what interests me in this trade. Now, more than that, the most important point for me is where has this come down into? Let's get a bit more refined. You can see here, if you come down here, look to the left. I've now switched to a 5-minute chart. You can see that we have a gap on the left where this has come down into, okay? A beautiful entry. Now, I don't just enter just because it's come down there. There's lots of different things going on here, okay? The key for me to get interested in this market is that there's 3 15-minute candles coming down. Now, the time is important, okay? This is the second hour of the London session, okay? That is a very, very important time. So it's 3 50-minute candles, a dump, coming down into a key support level based on that area being a gap in the market. If you don't know what a gap is, go and review my video on the Euro scalping strategy. And that 3 50-minute candles has come down in at a start of the second hour, right? So what I then like to do is I like to wait for, you see how you got this down move and an immediate rejection, okay? That there is what I'm looking for. It's basically a false break of this level, right? An immediate push up and then a pullback into anyone that may have gone long to scare them potentially out of the trade. So it's like this, it comes down, okay, into this level, and basically it's breaking through this price level, it's breaking through this last week's high, which I'm not going to talk about, it's not really that important, and then it immediately reverses, okay, goes up, and then we get a pullback into anyone that might be long to try and scare them out, right? It's a false break reversal, okay? Now, that's quite subjective. You might not see that. It's actually a lot easier than that if you watch the time. That's what's important. You got to watch the clock, okay? The key things are that 3 15-minute candle, okay, coming down for that pump. That's the key, right? What time is it at the end of that third 15-minute candle? Well, it's in the new hour. Where is it stopping? What's it reaching for? What's it trying to do? Well, it's coming down to rebalance this area, which it actually hasn't balanced completely. It's only touched the inside of that gap. Okay, so at some time in the future, price will actually come back down here. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be any time. We don't know when. Okay, now the fact that it actually came down and immediately went back up through there actually indicates strong market because it was not able to completely go and rebalance. And you can see the reaction from there. Okay, now what's important here is to read the tape. Okay, I'm going to switch to a 1-minute chart. Now, this is where the market is coming down. Let me actually squeeze that in a bit. So Here is that downtrend, okay? Here's the downtrend. Now we come into our support area. So where's the new hour starting? The new hour starts somewhere up here, okay? Second hour starts, we start going down for the first 15 minutes. Now here's what's important. This time here, okay, from 15 minutes, this is now the start of the second 15-minute candle. You got to pay attention to time rotation, okay? The second 15-minute candle starts here, okay? We continue to go down. This now is the 9th minute or the 10th minute, right? The candle starts at 15 minutes into, right? This is 24 minutes into that 15, sorry, this is at 24 minutes, so it's 10 minutes into that 15-minute candle. The candle closes at 30 minutes. And what we see here is that it's starting to reverse, right? Towards past the halfway mark, that 15-minute candle is starting to reverse. Inside of that 15-minute candle, we were going down, and that 15-minute candle hasn't ended yet, and now we start to move up. That's what creates this wick, okay, where you were going down and then you start to go back up inside of that 15-minute candle. If you can start to recognize that on a 1-minute chart, then you can get into that move a little bit early, right, as it's starting to turn. You can get into that as it's starting to turn and form that hammer. That's called a hammer. But the wick here is what's important. That's the edge, right? If you can identify those things, it's not just the fact that the 15-minute candle is turning around. That's not enough. You've got to take everything that I'm saying here. Everything's important here, okay? It's the fact that it's coming down in a sequence of 3 15-minute candles. That's number one, okay? Number two, it's at a specific time. It's coming in at a time where the new hour is starting, okay? And number three, it's coming down into and rejecting a key support level, which you can see on the left, which is what I've marked there as a gap, right? All those things combined, when you see that, you switch over and you look for that move right there where we're coming into that support zone. You look at the time and you see, well, that's inside a 15-minute candle, okay, which has been going down, and now past the halfway mark of that 15-minute candle, right? This is 10 minutes into that 15-minute candle. It starts on 15, okay? It ends on 30, right? So at this point, we've got 5 minutes remaining, okay, for the start of that last minute of that 15-minute candle, and it starts to reverse. It doesn't come back, right? It starts to reverse and actually makes a new high. Now, I like to buy at that point when I get the engulfment at that time, past the halfway of that 15-minute candle. That's where I like to buy, okay? But you can wait for a new high to be made and wait for the pullback, okay? And you can see this is now within that new 15-minute candle at this will be 3:30 a.m. New York, right? The second hour of New York starts at 3 a.m. Okay, so this is 3:30, right? New York, which is the third 15-minute candle, the 3:30 to 3:45 a.m. candle, right? It goes up and it pulls back and then continues, okay? So you got to practice this. This is tape reading, right? You got to practice this. Look at this on your own chart. Look at this in real time. Try to find these patterns on the charts that you're looking at and try to understand and identify these turning points, okay? That's the only way you're going to get good at this. You're not going to be able to get good at this by looking at the videos as entertainment. That's not good enough. You got to study these charts. You got to study them on the videos, you've got to study them. By back testing, you've got to study them in real time. Then you've got to practice and try and see, can you get it right by looking at the chart in real time. So it takes time, okay? Just by watching a couple of videos, it's not going to be enough, okay? So I hope that was useful. I will now talk with you in a future video.